I'm Brian Posehn. You may know me from my stand-up comedy or from the TV shows I've been on, like the Sarah Silverman program. I love comic books, metal, and anything nerdy, except furries. They're gross. But that does include Dungeons & Dragons, which I've been playing with the same group of my funny friends for a decade now. So we decided to record us playing the game and turn it into a podcast, and we call it
Nerd Poker. Dungeons & Dragons with Brian Posehn and friends.
Blaine!
Ken!
Sarah!
Sark. Don't forget Jerry.
Now with more
Dan.
And Steve.
and less Sarah, Jerry, and Sark. Hey, I'm Brian Posehn, and you're listening to Nerd Poker, Dungeons & Dragons with Brian Posehn and friends. Hey, friends.
Hi, Brian.
Hi!
Oh my God, it's so great.
We're missing our buddy Steve again, but again, we have sitting in our new friend Thomas Middleditch. Thanks, man.
Yeah, old Dorbus Dortlenotch.
Is that the same name you said last time?
Slightly different. Same feel.
Right on.
Scrimbles, snizzle, snatch.
Well,
Fits
thanks
the same,
thanks for
feels-
coming back, man. We appreciate it.
Of course.
Let's jump in. What happened last time? I think we fucked somebody up.
Yeah, we finally killed our second large yellow giant that dove out of the sky on a giant bird. A third, however, had escaped, and several messages were communicated via giant topaz or whatever the fuck those things are. We were just talking about collecting some feathers, adorning ourselves with them in some sort of armor, but we were on the beach at the edge of a desert, and we might want to get the fuck out of here because there may be reinforcements on the way.
Yep.
And it's hot.
My vote is to get the fuck out of
Yeah, like fly in the opposite direction
here. Yeah.
that guy took off.
What do we see? Let's climb on the old magic carpet.
Okay, so you guys,
Does the carpet have a name?
I don't think so.
Should we give it a carpet?
Would you like it to have a name?
It's your carpet.
Andrew.
Let's mount Andrew.
Let's all climb on Andrew.
Everyone wipe your feet before climbing atop Andrew.
all right, so you guys all get on Andrew. And Andrew struggles to take off. Because you guys do have a large gem. Maybe before you guys get on this, on Andrew,
Figure if we want to.
you should maybe kind of try to sit and figure out, take stock of where you are. Who's
Yeah,
hurt?
where are we going?
Yeah, you're.
I'm hurt, but I can use.
I can use
we can all
my
use a little
non-weapon
healing.
proficiencies to start healing people without memorizing spells.
Oh.
So
Yes.
Okay.
And would it be possible to remember a few spells?
Yeah, maybe now would be a time to maybe
Study
to
up.
spell up.
How about this? And I'll
I'm
use
at, like,
shade.
half.
I'll
I'm at,
throw
like,
the
half
carpet up
strength,
for
so.
shade.
Yeah, throw the carpet up so we're kind of hidden, maybe. So we're just not immediately being pelted with missiles while we do this. And yeah, let's learn.
Let's
heal.
collect our thoughts, learn some
You tell
spells,
us
heal up.
how much we can heal, I guess, because I've got a cycle of spells I could be relearning.
How long are you going to stay here?
I'm 24 points down, so whatever I could get.
Jesus.
Well, here's what I vote. I vote. I'll use I can use herbalism and fucking healing to heal 1 point each for those per round.
Here's another option.
Let's just get on this carpet and fly away while
Get
we
on
learn.
this. Get out of this area because
out of the crime
reinforcements. Yeah, reinforcements are coming. I think.
Let's rest.
Let's get on the
elsewhere.
carpet. Get out of here. Do we see anything shade or water or oasis like or anything?
Well, you're on a beach. There's desert behind you and occasional mountain peaks, like very beauty-looking, pointy desert mountains. If you look out, you can go either direction you can go east or west on the beach. If you keep going west is the opposite end of the continent that you came in on. I guess that's been your goal the whole time. If you want to sort of hug the beach, you saw the bird take off out over the water.
The one that took the left.
Yeah, the one of the
Okay.
three that attacked
So
you.
Was he angled slightly more in one direction than we could?
Yeah, you weren't really quite sure what was happening at that point.
I say we just follow the beach and just bolt away from
Okay.
here.
Sounds good.
Pick whichever.
And those of us who can rest and learn
yeah.
do so as we travel.
All right. So
I want to say we just fly for like
And if
an
that-
hour or two.
Yeah, that sounds good.
you fly. You start hugging the beach. You're sitting on Andrew, and Andrew is sort of
Not going
floating.
to go for me.
And you guys are. You're going to need some water and food at some point. So just keep that in mind.
Sure.
That's going to be coming up on your list of things to do.
Can we have harvested the bird?
For meat?
Yeah.
I don't know if you would have had. Well, if you plucked a few feathers, I don't know if you're going to carve a few chunks out of its delicious breastbone or something.
Right?
I would imagine we were hungry enough to.
Let's,
Yeah, and we do have some
do that
rations.
in hindsight.
We loaded up on. There were some.
Tamales?
I will say that while you guys were relearning your spells, that Dag was saying, "Fuck you guys, I'm hungry," and started carving off huge square chunks of this. So you each have a giant tofu square of bird chest in your knapsacks. And you could probably
Bird what, Blaine?
bird
Tofu square of
Bird chest?
bird chest.
bosom.
Yeah. Just a bird, like a breast. But,
That's
you know,
what I wanted you to say.
I'm just saying, yeah.
Bird
Oh,
tits.
yeah, well,
Teat.
I didn't
Bird
titties.
teat.
I know that's a trigger word for you. So,
And would it be enough time to relearn all the spells, some spells?
As we travel, I would say.
as you
Yeah,
travel, I would
let's-
say
yeah,
you could probably
we'll get 'em
You got to be careful with this motherfucker. You got to say you're traveling,
I'm traveling.
or he will make sure you're not traveling and you die. Oh, but while you're thinking about traveling, a giant brick falls out of the sky.
All right. So we're on our way. Now, you said there was a way that we have an objective in this thing? Because I'm coming in a little
we're
bit tardy to the party.
west, I think you were saying.
So
Yeah.
should we head to the west in this
Yeah.
flying carpet?
I like that.
so
And
okay.
thus we do.
Yeah, so you guys will just sort of float along nap of Earth, I guess,
Napa.
kind of floating along the beach. If anybody sees you, they'll rub their eyes and drop a bottle with 3 X's on it and walk away muttering as your carpet drifts by with 4 fucked up dudes on it. And,
But we're
Oh.
healing as we go, so
healing as you go. So
go.
not-
Healing as we
not really doing anything, but the web that's on the lingering chunks of web that are on that yellow thing that you have. Who's in charge of that?
You say it's a little bit
lingering
big
chunks
and
of
cumbersome.
Yes,
You know what?
it's-
I might, as a just a man of all curiosities that appear magical. May I study it in some way?
Yeah, you
You can
start.
detect magic. You can.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, I have a hunch that it's magical, but I mean, I can detect magic. Should I cast that?
Sure, yeah, do that.
Do you think? Okay, I do so. I
yeah.
wonder
You've
what
used it to
does.
identify magical objects' properties before.
Okay, I do. Let's get to the bottom of this.
So it reads as magical, but it's sort of a low grade, almost background magic. It seems to be some sort of special crystal or something. Maybe it's some sort of. It's not quite. Maybe it's just paranormal or something. But it's you do see that there are weird fractures and designs in it, spiderweb things and fissures in it that you can see from different angles, and it doesn't seem to. It's a weird looking stone.
Do the sides of it look like hewn, like as if it were chiseled by tools, or raw and plucked from the earth?
It looks like it was. It looks natural, but it also looks like it fits perfectly. But you're not quite sure how.
Okay.
It's pretty large and it's very, very heavy. That's why Andrew is just moving at such a slow rate of speed. And while you're looking at it, you see a couple of lights inside kind of spark up, and you hear a.
Is this garbled transmission or in another language?
It's another language. It sounds garbled, but it's also strange echoes and not quite loud, coming in and out.
You know what? They might be able to track us with this thing.
Yeah, I don't like how these guys don't speak English.
Well,
Speak
that's
English.
understandable.
Yeah, Trump.
But,
Jesus.
Maybe we should build a wall between us and them.
It'd be nice if we could.
I think we should ditch this thing.
Yeah, I think we should.
Yeah, fuck it. Roll it in the ocean.
Is there a way, if they can track us, is there a way to maybe us to decipher their position? And do we even want that?
No.
No.
We want to get away
We're
from them.
giants. We're wounded.
I mean, we get to know where they are to get away from that place.
Tiny men.
Yeah, I suppose.
We've had such bad experiences with these fucking things.
Yeah, I mean, given the chance to surrender, he wanted to heat me up. He wanted to cook me.
And you guys are talking.
Well, not for very long as I tossed the gem overboard.
Okay, this thing, you see it kind of hit the beach, and when it hits the beach, there's sort of a kind of explodes, and you see more manageable chunks of it kind of laying on the beach back there. And they all sort of glow a little bit, which is intriguing to you, I would think.
Sure.
Should we grab some chunks?
I don't want that.
Well,
still-
how many chunks would you say?
Well, it was pretty large. It was the size of a couple of medicine
We could
balls at
probably
least.
use them to talk to one another with.
Yeah,
if we
maybe
split
we
up.
can reconfigure them. Let's go and scoop them up and each take a chunk.
All right, let's.
All right,
I like it.
Let's
you
run.
guys
by.
go back and
I can fly
should-
down with my wings and grab them, so
Oh,
I don't
sure.
have to get off the carpet.
okay.
You have wings?
So I do actually have like
Little detail.
magical wings that I can strap on.
Hello,
We found it in a Ettercap cave.
as one would.
Yes.
As one does.
Place is just thick with wings. So you grab a couple of these chunks of these things and you continue to float on up the hole.
How am I doing with my transformation, sir?
Oh, you're you've noticed that that you can get your hands kind of warm,
Great.
and you've also noticed that that your friend Nausicaa, who was sort of blackish when you met, and then was reddish bluish.
Started off blue, went
Started off
black.
bluish, then kind of went blackish, and then is now a yellow greenish, yellow bluish.
What the fuck is wrong with you?
Part of my race.
Yellow bluish.
The drow here underground, where we have different racial abilities.
You don't look bluish.
All right, Mel.
I'm gonna kick myself in the balls for listening to that.
Did you see how the fat blue got dropped by CIA?
Did he?
No, I was,
Not yet, but everything
yet,
else is
but it'll
going
happen.
poorly for that fucker.
the fat bluish. Anyway,
You can be dropped by them?
what are we doing?
Floating along.
Continuing on. Well, now that
any-
we've collected the portions.
Any health?
Yeah, can I heal? Let's do this.
Yeah, healing and learning.
Kind of roll some stuff up.
Healing and learning.
Winter notices that that these crystals they glow a little brighter when they're near each other.
Fascinating.
Hike notices a cookie in a bowl on the table and eats it.
Oops. Great. Okay. Great. So I
try touching them
I
together.
rub them. I rub a couple together
That's hot.
as an experiment.
When you sort of rub them together, you hear like the clacking sound or scraping sound of rocks, and as you do that, some particles come off, whatever. But you notice that you hear the clacking coming out of the other rocks that are in the pile.
Ooh.
There you go.
I see. Okay. I think that if seeing as there's no on or off switch, it might be
Do that pose again for the camera.
anyone with one of these stones can hear. So they might be able to hear us. I mean, we can keep them, but at the same time,
So they'll be able to hear us
Any-
and we can hear each other.
yeah, I think it's like an open, like a party line,
No.
a stone party line. So the
So is that a good or a
decision
bad
for
idea?
yeah, exactly.
Should we throw him off again?
How useful do we
Oh,
think
no.
these are in the sense like how often do we feel that we'll be split up so much that we'll need
If we
these
talk
things?
on them, we can only lie.
Well, maybe could is the language that I heard
Well-
earlier? Is it derivative of anything? Could I roll some check to a wisdom or something? to
Yeah,
maybe
he
see
speaks
if
a
Yeah,
few
yeah,
languages.
you
He
can-
speaks like
yeah.
Drow and Elf and like a few.
Okay, sure.
maybe I can piece together a few words.
I do remember that Winter has a language proficiencies.
17.
Okay. You notice that that the language that you heard is sort of it's similar to the ones that you've heard the other giants saying. It's a variant of different. The giants all seem to speak a giantish language, and you do remember that you heard those giants speaking common tongue too. So there's probably a yellow giant dialect, and there's probably a common tongue that they're just not bothering with because.
So let's keep heading east.
Hey, listeners at home, Ken moved his hands in one direction while he was talking, and then another direction when he was finished talking.
Because he's a big fan of Zane.
Just make sure the giants don't hear that.
If there are any giants listening right now to this podcast,
Plug
do
your
not
ears.
do not go back and listen again if you are confused, and forget what you heard if you weren't.
Just head east if you're listening.
Just go east.
All right, so you guys are heading west, right? That's the way it works?
Yeah.
No, I'm the guy that nobody hears.
Yeah.
So you guys keep sort of drifting up the coastline a little bit.
And I'm healing.
Oh yeah. Let's roll some heals.
Learning and healing and learning.
Learn, healing, learn.
So how many heals do we get of those heals? Should we get a bunch?
What say you, DM?
How many? I would say, let's say like one per turn if you're going to do that, because you're going to get pretty wiped out and sore
Right.
from doing this.
Okay.
And how many turns?
So if we're
Sorry.
driving for hours,
I could do
it's
2
several
points if I
turns.
just use proficiencies.
Okay.
So
I'm just trying to.
Yeah,
I'm just looking
one
at
turn.
this.
I'm okay.
Two,
Concentrate
two?
on people that need it. I'm
You
fine.
don't need it. Okay. So
Well,
two.
you're healed then.
So well, yeah.
2 turns.
Yeah. 2 turns. So everybody gets 4.
Okay.
Sweet.
Sorry, I was just.
I'm good. You can concentrate on him now.
Yeah, concentrate on the barbarian warrior.
So do I have enough strength to do a couple more rounds just on Dag? You think?
Yeah, sure.
Cool. So 4 more points for you, Dag,
4 more points for you, Dag.
and I'll take a break.
Okay.
4 from before, and then 4 on top
Got
of
it.
it.
Yep.
So we're really far east at this point. I'm
Yeah. Liars East, if you know the parlance.
Winter can barely contain his snickering, but he is loving it. I do enjoy a good prank.
Hey guys, check it out. I'm gonna put this shard in my butt. They don't even know I'm doing it.
So you guys are putting shards up your butts, and your carpet is drifting along, maybe 50 yards off the ground, hugging the beach. You're like one of those planes, an Ocean City dragging a sign behind. And while you're up there, you can see off in the distance in the water, you can see some movement, some shapes like boats.
Wow, fudge packers.
They're yellow, but they do not seem to be. They're way off in the distance, moving sailboat-like.
Not expecting
Okay, cool.
And it is at this point that Winter says, I don't feel well, and then collapses on the carpet.
Oh no.
Because I gotta go.
Oh, okay.
Thanks so much for doing
We're
this.
going to
Thank
take
you
a
for
break
coming.
anyway. Yeah, Thomas has got to go. But thanks again, man.
My
It was
pleasure.
a lot
Let's
of
do it
fun.
again. Yeah.
Yeah. Come on.
Fantastic.
Please.
Thank you so much.
Cool.
Now we're going to kill Winter. We'll be right back. And we're back.
No, you're back.
What the?
You're back.
Sorry, the guys backstage were telling me to just kind of try to bring more energy to it.
Way to take a note.
Thanks. Was that high energy enough?
Sure.
So we continue to travel.
Yeah, we're healed up a bit. I guess.
Are we seeing anything in the
You saw the
easterly direction?
boats, right?
Oh yeah, the boats.
Yeah, you saw the boats, and every
We
now
didn't
and
say anything about those.
yeah, you didn't really see any. They looked off. They like I said, they looked like sailboats off in the distance. You had seen boats like that before when you were in that busier harbor, and you. As you're looking out there, you've noticed that you really haven't seen any birds around. You've been sort of scanning the sky for birds, but you do feel like you might have seen something kind of to the south a little bit, or I'm sorry, back to the wink wink west, back where you were, but it was very high altitude. It might have just been an actual bird.
Okay.
And you just kind of keep creeping up the shoreline.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's put some distance.
Yeah. For sure.
You're starting to see over the horizon. You're starting to see the tops of some mountains,
Oh.
and you see they're just yellow mountains.
Okay.
But they're they're outlined, very sharply outlined mountains. And you just keep floating westward a little bit.
While I relearn my spells, I will pray to Zinzarita for guidance and
Okay.
see what she thinks.
And so Zinzarita says, turn left 50 feet. That's a guidance joke. Dropping the mic in the form of my dice. Oh, I had the showrunner and producer of At Midnight today, which great guys. They came down and said, hey, I just got to ask somebody, what's a D20? It's how you say 20-side dice. Do you say the D20 or a D20? I say, just say D20. All right, whatever. Walked back outside. It's great. Sort of a guy to say, I knew you would know what it is, and I don't know what it is anymore, even though I asked. It's great.
Yep.
Yeah. I will say this in public on the air. This is the most fun show I've ever. Not this show, but At Midnight is the most.
Wait a minute.
Hey!
It's the most fun I've had working on a real show.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's a blast. The whole crew is really great. Everybody's fun to work with, and I
Yeah.
get to see great comedians do great shows every night.
And it is the first TV show I've worked on, so I am very lucky.
Yeah,
Really?
not a bad one. Anyway,
It's all
that's
downhill from here.
I'm sure it is.
yeah. Oh, I just got a text. We're canceled.
And I'm fired before we're canceled.
Okay, we're gonna just play half-baked reruns for the next 20 minutes. You keep drifting up the thing. You also notice that the beach or the shoreline is starting to kind of curve a little northward a little bit. And at this point, it's maybe 3, 4, 5 in the afternoon. You're not really sure anymore. You're in a new position. You don't know where the sun is. So it's not starting to cool down, but you do know that the sun is starting to go down.
I have a feeling.
What you
like,
feeling,
like
buddy?
in many deserts, when the sun goes down, it gets freezing fucking cold.
Yeah, and the bugs come out and
So
stuff.
yeah,
It's like all the
I'm not looking
wildlife.
forward to that.
Yeah.
Let us try and find some sort of shelter if we can, or any kind of a place we can camp.
Yeah, let's look for some kind of oasis or abandoned hut or something.
Maybe head towards the mountains and look around over there.
Or you know what? Like, what do you
But we're not
guys...
saying this out loud.
Right. Remember,
Or we're doing it in code when we're saying
Yeah.
it. How about let's not go to the mountains?
when we first got here, we saw like little solo huts, right? It seemed like less civilized. It seemed like there was a lot of maybe people just living in their own properties.
Well, you're looking inland and trying to see if you see any huts,
Single
or anything.
homes, single family
any
homes.
single homes. Nothing really. If there is, it's way on the inland, and but you do as you are seeing this bird and the mountains and the boats out there, you do see that there is a line in the desert off inland that looks like it could be a road. And there's nothing on the road, but it's just like it becomes apparent, oh, it's a road. And as you follow where it's pointing, you look up and over the horizon as up around the curve of the beach, you start to see the outlines of some buildings, like you're coming up on a town or a village or something along the beach. And it's just yellow buildings in the distance.
What do you say we try to find a home that's maybe a little far apart from other homes and
Outskirts.
take it over?
Yeah, I like that. Is there anything
You don't want to
outskirty?
head up that road, or
Yeah,
the road?
well,
No.
Follow the road
towards
towards
this
the
town.
town. Yeah.
Stay on the outside of it.
Gotcha.
See if there's any isolated
Well,
buildings.
you see the road sort of coming up to meet the beach a little bit, almost like it's a beach highway. And as you keep floating along, and Andrew is just
Thanks, Andrew.
just sort of floating along.
Thanks, buddy.
You're bobbing up the thing, not very fast, but fast enough that you start to see that it looks like a town, could be a beach town, and it is starting to get a little bit cooler.
Okay.
So, let me just see if there's any crazy action happening.
Nausicaa's going to look at you guys and be like, just to be clear, when I say take a little house over, you know I'm talking about killing the occupants and living there, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
All right, good. I want to make sure we're all on the same page here.
generally.
Oh, okay.
Generally, we are.
Generally, all right. Just making sure, buddy.
As you're starting to freak each other out on the carpet, you see that there are some boats or ships or vessels of some sort that are coming down the coastline, kind of hugging the coast.
Ooh, maybe we got away from the coast just in time.
Yeah, they're yellow, of course, yellow and gold and white and stuff, and they are. You see, there's two of them, and they're sort of churning down the coast pretty fast, almost like patrol boats.
Well, hopefully now that we're covered in feathers, we just kind of look like a bird in the distance, right?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, you can always
Or we're far enough away.
Right.
lower yourself a little bit
Yeah.
too. You're-
Why don't we just try and be a little more inconspicuous?
Yes.
All right, so you float down a little bit. These boats continue down the coast, and you just start to see some birds. You start to see birds,
Let's head over.
there's not.
Not like the things we just killed.
Yeah, not flocks of them, but you do see. You are starting to see more birds, like gulls and
Patrol.
stuff, but they're
Oh,
large.
got it.
Do we?
Okay.
Okay, we get a
Big
gull
yellow,
vibe.
big yellow seabirds.
okay.
Like you're coming up to more of a. You're coming up to a more habitable area for birds.
So these are just kind of like mild scavenger type. birds.
Yeah, they're still big and they're still yellow. Big and yellow. I'm big yellow.
Keep our distance.
Excuse me. Thank you.
So you keep moving up. You're following the road. This town is coming into view, and you see the beach is curving up even farther into the north and going off into the distance. It's actually very, very beautiful.
Sure.
Golden, and the sun going down. It's getting a little cool, a little more breezy. But you're starting to come up on this town. It's not as the buildings are large because there's giants that built it, but it doesn't look like a metropolis. It looks like
Good.
a small community.
Looks
And
like
it's
for a sad old person hut.
Yeah, anything at the end of a street or
Yeah.
on the edge of town.
well, you start to get to the edge, and you see that the town that it's small houses, and they're up on little stilt kind of things, because they're close to the beach.
Right.
And you see that it looks like just like a beach town, a vacation town, but there's nobody in it. The buildings are old. You don't really see any. You don't see a lot of, or you don't see any movement from this distance.
Okay.
But it doesn't look like it's very trafficky or.
Does it seem abandoned?
You're not quite sure if it's abandoned. It might just be like a vacation destination.
That sounds closer.
Sure. Check it out.
Get
Okay.
a little closer.
You can you sort of get over there, and you see that it is just a small little resort thing. The huts look like they're kind of well made and fancy, not too big.
Is this the abandoned set from Robert Altman's Popeye? By any chance?
It's all blue. It's from Smurfs. It's
Okay, so these might be for rent.
yeah, it could be like a rent kind of
Or
thing.
for free rent?
And when you get up in there, you do catch a glimpse every now and then of some giant activity. Giants walking around.
All right.
Like not a lot, not groups or anything, but just the occasional flash of a guy walking down the
Check
street.
Airbnb, see what's vacant.
Yeah, why don't someone want to go invisible and try to stealth out like a good house?
Can do that. I can do that.
Do it.
I can do that. Actually, Winter and I can both do that. If you think we should head out together, or
Do you want to, head out together, find where the Steve Buscemi of Yellow Giants is hanging out, or if there's kill him off, or
at least an
just
empty,
where's an
empty place.
empty one,
Yeah.
and then
let's park outside town and
You
do
could
some
whisper
recon.
a code word into one of these shards.
Yeah. We'll take our shards. In this town, we found way to the west of where we
west,
So you pull
in the middle of the water.
Andrew kind of pulls up off in some beach weeds, and you moor him off. He sort of floats there, and you hop off. And Winter and Hug just where'd they go? Wow, I'm never gonna get used to that. And there's a smell of invisibility potion, and you guys just sort of start walking up the street. As you get up there, it looks like it's very, very small, but sort of might be a fancy kind of a place.
Oh, fancy.
There are some buildings that look like they might be shops of some sort, but they're not. You don't see anyone there, and
Do they look closed or abandoned?
they look closed.
Okay.
And as you're walking up the street, you almost get just stepped on by a guy walking down the street.
What a
who
dick.
Does not see you,
Good.
but walks past you,
Let's stick to the walls if we can.
makes a right, walks up the street like he's just going to a hut, and you see him cross the street up a little ways, walk into a little hut and shut the door.
All right.
Oh, and he had like sort of like flowered shorts on, and like flip flops, and some zinc on his nose. He was just sort of hanging out at the beach. It looks
All
like.
right.
Giant yellow surfer dick.
He's the guy that rents out beach chairs.
Was he listening to Red Hot Chili Peppers on his phone with no earbuds?
Something tells me that happened to you for real.
Do
Do we see any houses with lights on, lights off?
You see houses with candles or torches in them, and you see other houses that it's still kind of bright out, late afternoon, 5, 6-ish.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Well, let's try and find one that doesn't have anything lit inside.
After you walk up the block for a while, you see that houses with lights on have the doors open for ventilation,
Nice. Okay.
and houses with lights off have the doors closed. So they're
good.
obviously
Let's pick the furthest one with the door closed, the most remote to the others.
Sounds good.
If there's one surrounded by others with doors closed, hopefully, or separated at all from the other houses, or furthest down the block
okay.
with the door closed, and let's try and get in there.
Okay, you get to the far end of the block, and you see that there's a weird yellow boardwalk that starts, and the boardwalk just kind of hugs the beach and goes just off into the distance up around that curve. But you do find a place that looks small, looks a little rundown. You manage. It's just square. It's a little two room kind of a place. You go in, and there's a just a huge room with a fireplace and knickknacks and stuff. Giant chair, giant rocking chair, huge teddy bear, like Lily Tomlin was going to sketch. And then there's another room with just a giant table in it, obviously like a larder kind of a thing. But nobody's been there in a while, and you can hear the beach just rushing up onto the yellow sands behind you. You pull Andrew up there, kind of all sneak in, and let me just make sure that there's no nosy neighborhood watch lady that sees you guys. Oh, lady saw you're all dead.
Of God.
Glad it's Kravitz.
So no, you're kind of in this house.
Right.
Well, fuck.
Now what?
Rest up.
Yeah, let's
Yeah,
rest and heal properly.
Let's check around, see if there's any travel brochures in the drawers or anything that tells anything about the town.
For real, though.
Yeah, no, for real. It would tell us what the town
This
is
is
about.
like the first time I feel like we might actually find a map.
Exactly.
You're looking around in the kitchen. You find a drawer that has a few like weird utensils in it, knives and stuff. And a knife looks like a short sword for you guys.
Sure.
There's a pump in the corner, and you pump it for a while. Dag gets on there, takes out some aggression. And the water is a little dirty at first, but then you get some fresh water out of there. That's nice.
Nice. Let's fill up on that.
And you also find some remnants, leftover weird packets of jerky, and sort of like weird yellow Slim Jims. And Winter eats one, and he makes a funny face and writes something down in his diary, and then he lives. So you can maybe munch out on that a little bit.
Thank you, Winter, for dusting that for us.
I'm going to suggest we try to set up some kind of rudimentary trap with this knife. So if someone comes in through the front door,
Sure.
they step on a knife, basically.
All right.
Sure.
Okay. So
How many doors are there on the thing? Just the front door? Is there a back door?
there's a front door that leads into that larder thing, and I guess that would be on the side of where the street is.
Okay.
There's a wall, and then if you go into the side of the house, that's where the door is. And then there's another, and there's windows on all sides.
Uh-huh.
And there's a large double door that faces out in the beach, and maybe like a little kind of a landing back there, a little porch sort of
that's
thing.
nice.
You know, there's maybe a little sand pail.
Maybe
and-
set up some sort of an alarm in case
Yeah,
that
like
opens.
if we're going to sleep, let's do like knife on the front door, some
Yeah.
pots and pans on the back door.
Yeah, sounds good.
So we'll hear a clang, 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 or a yelp.
I like it.
So you
Anything in the way of maps or tour guides? Is there a local
no, there's some like
the
pizza
local
menus.
channel that tells you what
yeah, what channel HBO's on?
what's going on in the town?
Yeah, there's a local thing put out by the church consistory.
No map, though.
No, there's no map.
People don't really use maps anymore with GPU.
Gosh, I don't know.
This isn't a long time ago.
Yeah, remember when you used
Or
to
the
carry a
far, far
Thomas
ways.
guide when you first got to Los Angeles?
I
and you had
can't
that-
even talk about that.
boy.
I get so upset.
Remember?
Yeah, I had a Thomas guide that was fully marked and
Yeah. ugh.
documented for places that I had discovered in town, and then somebody borrowed it and lost it.
Hmm.
And I was mad.
I had a dumbass guide. No, the streets were marked.
And I would think that's much worse than using a cell phone
What?
in your car. Using a Thomas guide to get somewhere
Oh, yeah.
by yourself. It's this huge hulking
Nowadays,
thing.
yeah.
Yeah, it's like it's got to be at least as dangerous as texting on a
sure.
phone.
How many people were murdered by flipping a page?
Exactly.
flipping
E7
their car,
dude,
yeah, yeah.
continued on E8.
Ugh, I hated paper yelp.
Help!
The paper net, as we'd call it.
Let's sleep. Let's try and cash in for the night.
All right.
Well, that way we can wake up before the sun actually comes up.
Keep watch.
Okay, who's gonna do the watch?
I'll do watch. I don't have to sleep.
Well, at all?
No,
All right.
because I'm drow.
Right on, Drow.
I'm down 16 still. So whatever you can do.
Well,
Before I sleep, I'm assuming we're spelling up and
yeah, I would
and
think you
healing
guys
up.
all
Yeah,
you guys are all
healed
back
up,
to peak spells.
All right.
Do you want to
Spells and heals.
and do you want to do you just want to heal until you guys are healed up?
Yep.
Yeah,
And you're just gonna
it's
keep-
only him because we're already healed. So
Yeah. Let's heal up
So-
everybody completely. So we're doing that until we're done, and then we'll sleep. And he's rolling a dice, but there's no way anything bad's going to happen.
Hey, you never know.
We set up some
I
alarms.
can be an asshole.
Can we be healing up like under a bed? Let's say we're doing that. Let's
Is
say
there a
we're like
cellar
in
of
a
any kind?
safe room.
Can we look around and see
With
if there's a
Jodie
cellar in
Foster.
this thing? Do we find a cellar of any kind?
There's no cellar. There is
in my root cellar.
there is a square, like a trapdoor that opens up, and you notice that if you go under, there's just the house is up on the stilts in
Got it.
case there's any sort of
Okay.
rising water. So there is a place you could jump down in case the place was getting firebombed
very
or
good.
Then let's just get out of immediate visual range.
Mm. Yeah, down under a building where there's giant yellow sand spiders under a house.
I didn't see any of those coming in. I don't know what you're
Yeah, well, don't look up.
talking about.
So that's what's happening. Verb. You guys are back to. I guess I'm going to say you guys are back to peak hit points, and now it is. The sun is down. The stars are out. It's beautiful. There's I'm just going to say there's one moon. I don't want to be a hack.
Well, did you see that recently? They said like every time there's a news story about they find a new solar system with two suns,
It's Tatooine.
it's just like Tatooine. Hey, the Tatooine-like solar system. But at this point, they've discovered more binary star systems than regular star systems. So the news stories keep saying it, but if you were to like go to NASA, they'd be like, "Yeah, everyone's got two stars." That's usually what happens. Tatooine's the common situation.
It's default. Hey, on that happy note about Tatooine, we're going to take a break and see what happened to Alderaan. We'll be right back. More Nerd Poker.
Bow with the ba the bang.
Diggy,
No, I'm just kidding. And we're back. Hi.
Hey.
What are you doing?
Oh,
love you.
good. Nah, I was just thinking of saying something and I changed my mind.
Oh, yeah.
You guys ever just hang out?
I
And
bet
think-
you I know what you're thinking.
Yeah. That dude in Sacramento.
yeah, totally.
What was that guy's name?
Oh, no, I know it. Here, I'll think it.
His name is Kid.
All right.
How many seconds is that?
Kick it.
All right.
So
Bears fans.
you get your in Paris friends.
So we're all healed up.
You're all healed
spelled
up.
What a stereo.
Time for Betty Bye.
Time for bed. You guys are maybe taking a. You guys are sleeping. You're all very, very, very tired. You've had busy days, and Nausicaa is kind of keeping an eye on stuff. She is looking out the window, and occasionally she sees a giant or a couple of giants walk past, but it seems to be very, very quiet. You look out the back window, and every now and then you'll see a giant strolling down the beach, just sort of solemnly, or just a solitary giant walking down the beach, just hanging out. It's obviously off season. There's a few people hanging out, just living their giant yellow lives.
Do I feel like at a certain point the sun is down and no one's probably coming in here?
Yeah. Oh, the sun's down. It's much cooler outside. It's half again. It's 40 degrees, 45 degrees.
Dear goodness.
Yeah, and that's Kelvin.
Chilly.
So, which is very hot, by the way, 40 degrees Kelvin. You are looking out the back, out over the waves, and you see boats kind of patrolling down the water, but they are heading back west where they had come from the first time when you saw them sort of puttering along. And when this happens, you see that there are 3 more boats coming up, and they sort of all stop and have a little discussion. Like, they're not near your house, but they're offshore. You sort of see them stop, and then they both groups continue in their same directions.
All right.
Listeners, I shook my head when the boats all stopped and had a little fucking boat party.
Yeah, you kind of knew what was happening.
Yeah.
I guess Dag gets up to pee because you drank a lot of Snapple before you went to sleep.
For sure.
And you had
Wouldn't I just pee in my Snapple?
No, or usually you just pee in your sleep. But
You just open the trap door and pee out the hole.
yeah, but you wake up, you had a lot of cereal too before you went to sleep, so you just have to go. And you wake up and it's almost like a cartoon. The window is open and there's sort of a curtain kind of blowing in. And
Spooky.
you see Hug, and he's sleeping, just sound asleep, and Winter curled up next to him. They're kind of spooning the way magicians spoon when they're sleeping.
They've been through a lot together.
Magicians always
Yeah.
spoon when they sleep.
It's it just keeps their circuits aligned. And and
Magic.
Nausicaa was supposed to be there someplace, but you don't see Nausicaa. She was keeping watch.
I don't see her?
Nope.
Do I get up and look for her?
Do you wanna?
Yeah.
Okay. So you look out the window and you kind of, big question mark over your head. Try to look down to see if you see any footprints, like she jumped out of the window or anything. And you see that there's a little crater at the base of the window and those little beachy, sandy footprints. And they go out towards the water. And you see she's out there talking, or not talking, but walking towards a yellow guy that's just kind of strolling down the beach. And you see that the yellow guy is sort of just kind of minding his own business, looking out, kind of checking things out, and watching those boats. And then he kind of stops and looks over, and you see him see Nausicaa.
Okay. Is she trying to sneak up on him? Is she stealthy or?
No, let's find out. Nausicaa. You sort of dropped out of the window and walked across the beach because you wanted to talk to this guy. You saw him sort of walking alone. You made sure that he wasn't meeting anyone or he wasn't playing frisbee with a big yellow dog or anything. So he's walking along. You see him watching the boats, and then he looks over and sees you, and he just sort of makes a weird expression, like he's not quite sure what you are.
I nod at him and look out at the ocean. Wait, see how he reacts.
He looks at you and looks out at the ocean and nods and just kind of sort of keeps walking up the beach, I guess. He just sort of assumes that you're some weird kid. Because you're kind of yellowish, sort of weird colored.
I walk alongside him for a while.
Okay. He's hard to keep up with.
Sure.
He's got, very, very long legs.
Sure.
He just kind of keeps
sleeping through all this.
He just kind of keeps walking along. And you see this,
Yeah, I don't know what to do. I'm assuming he has some sort of plan. She, yeah, Nausicaa.
Do you want to follow? Do you want to stay put?
I want to stay put.
Okay. So you keep following this guy, and he's just sort of walking along. Every now and then he looks down at you like Like, what is this thing following me for?
I say greetings.
Hello.
May I ask a favor as a fellow traveler?
I don't have any cigarettes. So why don't you go back to your whatever cart you live in?
Very well. All I ask is if you could tell me where I could find a priest.
Priest? I don't know.
You don't know where I can find a holy man?
Who needs him?
I see. Have you ever met a priest?
Yes.
Do you know if that city across the water perhaps has some of them?
Probably.
What is the best road out of this desert land?
Probably the road.
Fucking stab him. Stab him. Get him.
I say thank you so much. Can I ask one more question? I will be on my way. You have my word.
Yeah, sure.
Do you pray to a god?
This is getting weird.
I know, but if you tell me the god that you pray to, you'll never see me again.
Yellow. Why are you still here?
I go, I thank him, and I try to make sure he doesn't follow me, and I try to.
He doesn't even stop.
Great. I head
You're
back.
you're out of breath at this point.
I head
too.
back to the house. Yeah.
Okay. You're a mile down the beach.
Yeah. Well, I'll go ahead and fly back. It's dark.
Oh, okay.
I'll just to confuse him. I'll just pop out the wings. Be like, all right, later, bro. Just
Do it.
yeah.
Okay. So you fly back, and you see Dag standing there with his bathrobe on.
What the fuck?
And his slippers on, and his hair in curlers, and a
I
rolling
was so
pin.
worried. Don't do that
I'm
to
sorry,
me.
honey.
Why would you?
I've been moonlighting
Couldn't
at night.
text me or
I
tell me
know.
where you're.
I know, sweetie. It's just we've been having a hard time making rent, and I wanted to make sure that I could put food on the table by taking a second job.
I work hard too.
I know, but there was an opening for a bartender down at the beach, and I just.
Are you gonna fuck that bartender?
No, I promise. I would never fuck that bartender.
Winter, why are mommy and daddy fighting?
Keep it down there.
I love you. Do you still love me?
Yes.
Oh my God!
What's going on?
Things
out
will
there?
never change.
What are you guys doing?
No, I guess you
they
woke up the you woke up the people upstairs. Now they're just fucking.
Oh, that just went really weird.
Let this go down as the most uncomfortable episode.
that completely broke.
Cry sex.
You ever done that where your neighbor wakes you up fighting and you just well, we're awake, may as well.
Have cry sex.
Parents who wake up their children so they can fuck in the other room.
Wake up the kids. I want them to hear this.
See, we're not fighting anymore.
I'll have what mom's having.
Jesus.
Yeah, I'll explain to these guys. I'm always keen to learn more about these giants'
get it.
religions. And,
Sure, I'm excited that you did.
Yeah, it seems like they have it, but they're so dumb. Some of them don't partake.
The guy that you were talking to, you can't you haven't really seen enough of these guys to get a read on him. You could tell that he wasn't a yokel. You could
But he
tell
was evasive, maybe.
Yeah, he just didn't. He didn't care who you were. You weren't a giant. He probably thought you were some weird, freaky kid, and he wasn't worried about you. You weren't a threat to him. So
Well, that's good.
yeah, but he also didn't. He also seemed like he was just sort of meditating. He wasn't really paying attention.
Well, I was hoping
he wasn't
to catch
paying
one of them,
attention to
with
you.
their guard down a little bit, but
Yeah, and the voice was much deeper and more frightening than I was letting on.
yeah. Well, and I was hoping if I caught somebody who was literally meditating, looking out at the water, thinking about how they lived a really shitty life, that they wouldn't be as aggressive. So
Yeah. So you go back and you're arguing. Well, not arguing, but you're having a discussion with Dag.
And I do want to relate too. I kind of made the assumption that there was a city across the water, and he sort of seemed to agree with that assumption. So I feel like those boats are coming from what must be a city out there somewhere of yellow giants that's more elaborate than this little vacation town.
Right.
Yeah, well, it looks like the beach is starting to curve up to the north a little bit, so you're almost in some sort of weird crescent cove. Not a cove, but it's pretty big.
Also, you were all supposed to sleep through that, and I was going to tell you, but
Well, after all that racket when you got back and fucking on top of everything else.
The giants fucking. Oh, they're doing it again.
That's Dag and I having it. Oh, having one. No. So you did learn that we can take the road out of town, though?
yeah, it sounds like he wasn't really being completely honest with me, but he definitely made it sound like the road will take us out of here, and that it is a major road. Maybe that's not the right
The road
assumption,
that we
but
took to this town?
yeah, I asked what the best road out was, and he said the road. So either there's not a lot of roads around here, or it's a good
And
road.
we found
or
this
both.
end of the road.
Yeah,
So it's got to
so-
continue down
yeah.
the okay.
That's I would agree with that assumption.
How much sleep have we gotten? Should we travel at night?
I would rather leave before the sun rises.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Do you want to stay here for a little while, or are you going to go now?
How much rest have we gotten?
I would
What time
think
is
that
it?
you would want to get a little more sleep.
Okay.
Can they
'Cause-
sleep on Andrew while it's flying?
Yeah, but it's not really going to be the same as sleeping in a Goldilocks big
Okay.
comfy giant bed.
Why don't you guys get some more sleep? I'll promise not to leave this time, but let's get out of here before the sun rises.
Sounds good. Wake us
And
up
then,
when you want to go.
Yeah.
Wake us up before you go.
Should we call it an evening?
Sure.
episode.
Yeah, let's do it.
We're in an hour. Cool. Anything you got going on next week, buddy?
No, I'm on hiatus, so there's going to be a lot of yeah.
Well, I'm on vacation. Hopefully, we're gonna figure out how to get another episode taped soon. We'll get that figured out. I'm going to Yosemite. Remember when we went to Yosemite in that fucking winter, dude? That's
do.
still one of my favorite
That was pretty crazy.
road trips. He and I don't remember how we got that gig. Did I think I got it handed. It fell in my lap, and I asked you to do it with me, if I remember correctly.
Yeah. And it was for the employees and staff of Yosemite.
Yeah, and it was like people that worked like at the
Oh,
hotel
wow.
and did all this stuff, and it was in the middle. Oh no, it was the winter.
Yeah.
And they were about to either go on break or they were about to shut down. Right? I think
Yeah.
that's what happened.
Yeah, they were cutting loose a little bit.
And we were both baby comics. Neither one of us had any TV credits, I think. And
You just had your new car.
yeah. You had helped me pick that out. Yeah.
And we drove out like into the snow, shining style. And then
But the thing, so we drive up at nighttime, and we know
Pitch
I
black.
grew up with Yosemite. I don't think you had ever been, right?
I'd never
Because
been.
you grew up on the East Coast. So I grew up going with my mom and almost every summer, but I'd never gone in the winter. And we're driving up in this winter night. We do the show. We get a little drunk, maybe get a little high, probably.
Yeah.
And then
I seem to not remember that.
yeah, and then we go to the hotel room that they put us up in, the hotel rooms, and we both wake up and look outside and just like, oh my god,
And there was Half Dome,
yeah,
like right there the whole night, and we had no idea. It was really stunning.
but like, yeah, Half Dome, but then also like lightly covered with snow, and it was like just the most beautiful thing ever.
Yeah.
Lit by the moon.
Yeah, and then we drove this romantic drive out of Yosemite Park, holding hands and making jokes
You
about
never
Steven
fucked that
Seagal.
hurt
was
your
great.
life?
Yeah, yeah.
And
I remember we did all those Steven Seagal movies where he would do
3-word titles.
3 or 4 word titles where it's like hard to kill or
Wood for sale.
Yeah, that was one that we did. That's my favorite. Where he's just a guy who looks like, because I think we saw a sign that said wood for sale.
for sale. Is that
And we
a
were
bad
like, oh,
Steven
that's a
Seagal
bad
movie?
Steven Seagal movie. And then we came up with a bunch of other ones. Like, I don't even remember
Make
the other
mine
examples.
mink.
But they were all like 3-word things. Anyway, I will be with my family in Yosemite, taking my kid up there for the first time, and then going to Hawaii the week after that. So we're going to try to
Maybe
get
in
an
Hawaii
episode
the
in.
same week.
Yeah, if you're listening to this and you brace yourself,
Sorry.
like we'll try and record an episode.
Yeah.
but
I'm just letting you know that
don't shit all over the social
I
media.
have a 2-week vacation, and I'm going to try to get one in. Thanks for listening, though, guys.
Thanks, you guys.
Thanks.
Sei gesund.
This has been an Earwolf Media production. Executive producers Jeff Ulrich and Scott Ackerman. For more information, visit earwolf.com.
Earwolfradio.com